Hello. So, today I thought we would have high tea. Ed can't afford the Brown Palace, if in all reality I don't really think I want to do that right now. Outside of crossing our T's and dotting our I's, I don't know what else we're focused on. I guess print instead of cursive, right? Okay, so this, my dears, is going to be a reading that I put much thought into actually before doing. It's going to be called Peaches, Peaches Everywhere. And I want to talk about how people break things down mentally, just the differences between humans and the way that they do that. Because I think that's the looking back that kind of happens when you get older, I suppose, from what I've heard. Okay, from what I've heard. Um, People who are visual learners, they use their vision, their sight, their insight, their everything that they see, they kind of tend to either mentally masticate on, or yeah, it's like it's a big picture for them. You can have the big picture, the little picture, whatever kind of pixels you need to zoom in on at any given moment. It is a bug's life with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then being able to kind of like zoom out from that to James and the Giant Peach, Spirit of Place. The devil is not in the details. If you see this here, this scenario that we're sitting in right now, this energy that I'm specifically addressing, because I need to wear it for a moment. I need to wear it just for a moment. That's there is no detail that is too big or small. It's the mountain that's high and low. And I do believe, if we recall some of last January's readings for specifically Cancer, there was a lot of imagery about eggs hatching in the kitchen or on the stove or on the street, in the gutters, the ethers, the heavens. It was some type of hatchling. So this is the hatchling of a duckling coming to life, hatchling. These are the ducklings that have now been released. Okay, there we are. There we have it. So this is kind of, I actually don't even know which way these are supposed to go, but it doesn't really matter. I'll show you the readings. We have got, I don't know if you can really see that. Sometimes the light in here is a little bit intense. But this is flying, the flying card in the upright, number 20. This is number 43 in the reverse, details, details. This is the spirit of place, which is facing the issue. That's what we're doing. We're wearing it for today. This is the color schema. This is the type of mindset that we're in. Um, she's very enraptured on something within that leaf. She is the base and trunk of the tree, but she's very, very caught up on this one tiny little. I hear the song by Amory. Just this one thing got me tripping. Just this one thing, you got me tripping. That's what this is. It's coming to life of a different type of fixation. It's a different solution. It's a different way of looking at the same exact scenario in multiple different ways, realizing that 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4, that 2 plus 2 is 4, that 1 plus 3 is 4, that 3 plus 1 is 4, that 0 plus 4 is 4. Be nonplussed about any of it. Really, there's pluses and minuses all over. Those are the mountains and the valleys that everybody goes through. If we think about understanding things, You can have some sympathy for people who are ESL, English as a second language, people who have maybe like a mental disability that you know about or that you cannot physically see as a disability. Whereas with somebody who's riding in a wheelchair or does not have one of their appendages, it's obvious. That is the vision. That's the visionary, that's the visual learner's observation naturally. And they're not to be faulted for having vision. Naturally, every blind person could hate them, but why would they spend their life like that? That's a weird investment. I, you know, this is going with the top of the reading here. I just put it down there naturally. I wasn't planning that. This is flying and being able to follow the leader. This is being a goose or in a pack of ducks or whatever is taken off, right? This is you being able to be the leader and taking it all the wind force and the resistance straight to the face. And then it's also being willing and able to say, I'm kind of tired right now. Let me fall back. So you fall to the back of the pack. And because of the nature of air, sorry, my cat's raiding bags over here. Give her a moment because it's kind of loud. You can also fall to the back and say, you know what? I'm going to take the airstream that seems to be the path of least resistance. It doesn't mean you have to be quiet. It doesn't mean you stop acting. You still have to flap. If you see something catching up with you in the rear view like a jet, like an actual plane, you might want to like say something. It doesn't mean you shut up and don't fly or don't live or breathe or exist. It just means you know how to take the path of least resistance also. In the first place, you already had that little moment of aha, and now you're moving on. So you can be a part of whatever position you need to play in your own VIP section as your own team player. It doesn't have to do with anyone else's team. It has to do with you remembering to breathe, flap, quack if need be, if you want to, right? It's the presence of self with self and being able to sit with that in a way that is something you can treasure. It's high tea with yourself and whoever else decides to RSVP ASAP. It's being an absolute fashion killer in ways that people can't really stand under your umbrella. Not like that. Like they can tip their hat, but they also tip their hand, and we love cow tipping. So yeah, there's 36. I just open the deck and there's the star card right out the gate. Look, here we go. This is the story that I am telling. This is moving to the country, eating a lot of peaches because you're the president. You're a dead president. You smell kind of specific, like the national treasurer or whatever hunt. What was it? Egg hunt. People like to invest in. It's just it is understanding like exactly the nature of who you are, that you don't have to say a word in order for these things to happen, but you also don't have to do anything besides be exactly who you are. So unless you were just born mute, you don't have to be a husky. You could be a frog. Sometimes they get a little frog. Everyone gets a little frog in their throat, okay? Everyone gets a little itchy, scratchy throat. Everyone. It's all right to speak up. It's all right to own your voice. You don't have to be scared to face people next time you see them. You're telling the truth. If this wasn't honestly the truth, why would it manifest that way? It's Westworld. This is questing for more. It's a quest for a tribe called, you know, love. Because it seems like a lot of people seem to be out of love. So maybe that's a wide open space that I could develop into something specifically, technically for me. Into the unknown. I do want to say there is a chipperness to this. I'm gonna grab some stuff. I don't know why I just keep stuff on the table. I know that's kind of maybe like, like bags and stuff that I could use. They require bags to go shopping. You do know that, right? Okay. Anyway, I got these hot and cold iPads, right? And they're really glittery and they match the outfit I'm wearing, but it would be completely impractical to wear these outside of the house. If I'm going to have these mountains, these peaks, these lows, knowing how to contain it, knowing how to satisfy whatever side of that I need to be at is a really great place to be. There is something unknown about it. Yes, that's true. This is number 7. But lucky for me, Heinz 37 or 57 or 27 or whatever, it's also part of the condiments that make up an entire burger. When you're a black diamond or a pink diamond or whatever formation you're supposed to be taking, because there's a formal way that you're supposed to show up with no baggage in public. Sometimes you miss your turn back there somewhere. It's not about having 2020 vision. This is 2020 vision, right? And I don't remember which side it was on. Run the video back. It really doesn't matter. My point is this. Most people learn that they've got a kind of eyesight in the first place. They get tested by the ophthalmologist, right? Then they're told either you do or you don't have lucky eyesight with 2020 vision, looking back, or you've got some type of impaired vision, which is blurred, unable to discern, stigmatized. I want people to stop thinking about things as so black and white. That is not what we're focused on here. That is the devil in the detail that is actually catching people up. This one right here, going into the unknown. There's nothing unknown. Do you realize that you're made up of stardust? Literally, I just had the star right here with the key. Yeah, that is what it is. It's a understanding that your commitment to self, that your commitment to your craft, to creating something that actually does have high value for yourself, and you don't compare yourself with other people. That's none of your business. What other people think is really none of your business. And if we're going to make it each other's business what each other thinks about, and everyone wants this, like I've already addressed this before, that Mel Gibson idea of what women want: space to be emotional. If you want to be here with us, we love that. Am I speaking from a woman's perspective? Mostly because it's Mossy Mo. And I like to tip my hat at ladies. I'm not at all homosexual, nor am I a lesbian, nor am I gay. I tend to be kind of miserable sometimes. But that's the hot and cold nature of being a woman, of having eyesight and vision. So let's switch modes, right? I'm going to leave the commitment on the table, the star card, number 36. I'm going to leave that on the table for a moment. And we're going to get another spread for a different type of learner. Let's say that we were making whatever kind of food that we could from these peaches, right? I've just cut the deck. And again, here comes two types of peaches. We can do canned, we can do jarred peaches, right? Either way, we've got to kind of take the peach to paradise a little bit, slice and dice. Got to chop it up like Chopin can be playing, or Beethoven, Mozart. We're at high tea, okay? It's the extension of a coming to life story, to and from. To and fro is what I want to say. Two of them and fro. hmm To and fro. This is a back and forth experience that only some people are going to be able to stomach. There's something about centrifugal force involved here. This woman is rotating. I'm seeing her as those music boxes, right? That you used to be able to take and open, right? And there'd be this little ballerina twirling, spinning around right in the middle. Beautiful as can be, with a little tutu. That's what this is. It's the field of dreams for little girls. Because when we only have two genders here, there's going to be a dream for one that can't be achieved by the other if they're competing with each other. So automatically, that's a sensory thing. I'm really getting tactile from this. I'm really getting a lot of tactile. This could also be relatively musical. Ooh, I'm having a hard time speaking right now. There's suddenly, okay, this has to do with ears. So we're going to talk about you know auditory learners. Okay, when you're audio sentient and audio clairvoyant, it means that you have the ability to hear what is happening in the past, present, or future at any given moment. I only think of you on two occasions. That's day and night, right? It's up and down, it's back and forth. That's that to and fro. Okay. I've yet to see a music box for little girls with a really dark black skinned girl with an afro. And it doesn't mean they're not out there. It just means I haven't found one yet. Now, let's address that in a couple ways, because I would like to take this moment to say that could be a user error on my part, my behalf. Okay. My fault. Most likely, if you're auditory and you're not hearing what you want to hear, you're most likely listening for the wrong things. And that was a lesson I had to learn the hard way. I would prefer the soft way. Water is a lot softer. I mean, depending on the height that you're diving in from, please either know how to be a diver or don't belly flop, okay? It's painful for everyone, painful. There's some elegance and grace with which, some style and grace with which this is I'm now seeing the statue outside of CERN. It's the dancing, never mind. I'll let you figure it out on your own if you've never discovered it. Maybe you've not been asking the right questions. What is outside of CERN? What's inside CERN? Why does that concern us? Right? Let me ask you this. Right. If I couldn't do anything except for hear you, I was completely blind, deaf, and dumb. No offense to those people who actually are, or will be. How would I hear the voice of my mother versus the voice of everyone else in a really crowded room? What if she was a twin, an identical twin? Do you think that I would be more or less susceptible to any number of sensory experiences that were not so easy? You had to go slow and steady, speak with clear vernacular, despacito, more slowly, please. Okay? I'm trying to contextualize these things because I don't think some people are translating, even in their first language, what's actually going on. You're not under judgment. You're not being admonished. This is supposed to hopefully help. I want people to realize that however you're learning or picking up information or through osmosis or whatever, nobody is going to admonish you for that. If you're searching and you seek, you will definitely find answers. If someone tells you that you're not supposed to seek yourself out so that you can find out where you've been, so that you can know where you want to go, that's a foolish quest. That's the difference between, I don't know if you've ever read the book I Am Ishmael, but now they've got this movie called My Teacher the Octopus. It's basically the same thing, yeah? What, just down under, and then one is like on land beating its chest? To me, it's one and the same, but it's also originated from the same source of coming together of two mindsets. So if you think that maybe there could be something submerged or something deeper on the face of this planet, and you want to know, there's like, I don't know how much of this body of hot and cold water we've never even explored. I don't think a lot of us would really dare. But there's brave souls who are slow and steady, and especially those who've never had the pleasure of seeing anything except for darkness. Of course, they want to go listen to the depth. Only those people who know what light looks like would require it in order not to feel fear automatically. Yeah, that big old, remember Finding Nemo? That glow in the dark fish that has this thing. It's like Cleopatra's headdress, but come to life with a little, let's see what it pulls. Yeah, with a wishing well dangling straight off the end of it like a carrot. Okay? Like a carrot. I'm telling you, I think I did a reading the other day talking about how fish, when you scuba dive or you snorkel around them, they're very, very attracted to sparkly things. Should spark an idea or two, or maybe like 36. It's a color that you can't see. This is the wishing well that's always dangling. It's a dang-a-lang-a-lang. It's a bell. It's able to express to you the frustrations of ESO. If you want to go real Schnell, we can go real German, and I can show you again all this clutter. I've got, wrapping paper for patterns, because you got to recognize the pattern. And then you can figure out which parts of it you're going to snip and which ones of it you're going to cut. Or if you just want to leave it alone. All of those things are possible. Depends on which eye you're looking through. Okay, this is the second. So this was our first takeaway, right? Was that stardom energy. Visionary. Stardom. Now we've got the hearing. I'm just seeing these hot and cold as being now hot and cold ear patches. Yeah. I was actually thinking of butthole surfers when I said that. And then I was thinking about a sent from heaven. And it was it's the devil and the angel on the shoulders, whispering in your ears. It's your own conscience talking to you. Some people don't understand things unless it is that way. When their commitment comes together, both ears receive at the same time the same information. Other times, it's the most minute sound from the furthest direction away from you. That kind of causes alarm and starts ringing that bell. Just hearing ring my bell. Yeah, it's marvelous. It's a moment at high tea where you actually do have a bell sitting on the table and you ring it when you want service. Now, being on the opposite end of high tea is being the server. You're the customer or the server, typically not both, unless you've got really great coworkers. So I would walk a mile. I would walk 500 miles is coming to mind. I don't know who sings that. Sorry. Anyway, let's talk about one last go around, and then I think I'm going to probably tap out for at least the time being. Cool beans? Cool. So here we go. This is 2020. I inadvertently put these iPads down right at the end of these three cards. We've got commitment coming together at the wishing well. Okay. Now we've got flying in the reverse. So to me, this means nothing. This means orientation of navigation. Within whatever cell, jail, prison of your mind, because that's all this matrix really is. A set of numbers, a set of beliefs, a set of systems that we consume, like water and apples. And if you bite the core of the apple, like a, computer or an iPhone, then you are what you eat. You're not lying. You ain't never lied. I heard someone say you ain't never lied. Ooh, Cersei. Cersei? This is Game of Thrones. This is me stepping into a different role than you've ever seen, at least for myself. And mostly I'm not really one to like try to drill things home. I'm not really. Like you bring it out of me, but you probably don't want to. And I don't want to, so I won't. Or I'll just sidestep like so hard and get on my Pegasus and fly into unicorn land, and that'll be that. Now those are artists. They don't have a specific type of learning. Whatever strikes their fancy, whatever fits their fancy, they're footloose and fancy free. It's a feast where the wild things are. You probably see them eating off the same ice cream cone as their animal. Yeah, you could think of that as disgusting, but if we're going to flip this around and think of it as like, oh, they're mentally insane or whatever, maybe you could just think about yourself eating some of their food at the table like a civilized person. Is that weird or are you weird? Because you have this, they got to eat on the floor. Why don't we put I guess Moroccans, they do. They eat on the floor. They have poofs and pillows and tons of potions like mint tea, belly dancers galore, Taj Mahal, Mahaja. I was about to say Mahalas, Taj Mahal kind of energy. If we're gonna be really black and white about it, that is the 2020 energy that is there. One of those cathedrals or shrines is still standing, but it's the white one. The black one is like it'd be like a bathroom and a half instead of a full bathroom, like a full two bathrooms, That's kind of what's needed is like somebody to be like, those aren't really equal. Like if I was weighing it out visually, that's probably the feedback I would be getting is like, oh, X marks the spot. You've been targeted. Pow. Is like XO, XO. Baby, turn the lights off. Like that's the way I would interpret it, okay? Based off pop culture. You know, there's a brown palace, and maybe different regimes consider one another differently. But from the secret garden that I remember, I think Britain to India, they were settlers. So, ironically enough, gotta go.